Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you today, and I'm going to get into some energies after yesterday's read too as well before I get into the read. Today being June 2nd, 2019, and we'll get into that in a minute. But first, just a review of some of the leftover energies yesterday. There's some interesting stuff that came up for sure in today's read. But yesterday, let's see here, 8-8 came up again. A long line of DNA of corsets, Vikings, and salt and pepper Italians. Aquarius and Libra burdened by a surrender and coming clean to be free from prison, or are they getting pushback by a sneaky person? Red boots tiptoeing around the surrender, giving up to be released from prison. Others, end of the DNA not so good, three-legged race overdone, released. Others, and self come clean, or paybacks are a bitch. Someone may be literally out of prison and talking about everything. And recently, the moon of the past, family or legacy death at the past full Scorpio moon. So that's been coming up over and over again. Something happened at this last Scorpio moon, and this is coming up for the masculine stuff. Hanging a shingle over past self-deceptions, feeling defenseless to the truth, grounding and integrating, healing, a lot of that stuff has been coming up. Also, yesterday at 6:22:23, I was writing down something going on with the Queen of Cups yesterday, which it came up in that read that I gave you yesterday. But betrayal and an ending of a family or a death, grounding and integrating, and challenged by unhappiness of being alone, with the passion to walk away and or within, to lover, empress, with an opportunity, or seen as an opportunist. I'm expressing feelings at the new moon about death and family at the Scorpio full moon. The Hierophant, grounding and integrating, lover challenged by getting their wish of alone time. Queen of Cups, new passion for bleeding out, bleeding others, dying and going within to become the Empress, with an opportunity for her and her kids, or just leaving. But at 6:22 to 6:23 p.m. yesterday, my mail came up to 11,999, and I was getting the bewitching hour, right? Because that's the moment before 12,000, right? That's very rare. So then I was getting messages about that 12,000 and it being the bewitching hour, and the read had ended yesterday at 12:12, so they kept coming up, and even more number syncs came up today. And then Saks Fifth Avenue came up in my mail, and I was guided to the 5th off 5th. So something about 5th Street, but also 5th Street came up for Ocean City yesterday. But I was getting like 10% off and 20% off yesterday too. So if anyone has any syncs about that stuff, 10% off or 20% off, or something 10% off increased to 20% off. Also, a sale on the Foo Fighters came up yesterday, as well as in that Saks Fifth Avenue email was only hours left, extra 20% off Helmut Lang, which also came up about German descent. Final hours, online only, direct from Saks. So someone might be getting sacked as well. The East Coast was coming up major time yesterday. As far as beach towns and CH names were coming up as well. Expressing feelings about marriage to a Queen of Cups, and betrayal at the full moon, grounding, integrating, being alone, with new passion to go within, to lover, empress, whose son or child may be home. That was coming up yesterday. Then, just real quick about the Divine Feminine yesterday. She had double 7s, whereas the masculine had double 8s. And there's some information about adventure and music coming up to the nth degree. The feminine within the masculine losing the wind beneath their wings, but the wind in their sail, like losing that. Like that may be the 10 or 20%, like losing a little of their oomph, like losing the wind in their sail, okay? There's a little bit of faltering here. And the fish of Jesus was coming up and needing to stay in that high vibration. There's a lot of passion, fire going on with the masculine that needed to be supported by the feminine, or vice versa. There may be a big move in the destiny of the divine masculine in that Jesus template. Sophia came up as well as off fifth. The sweet spot of the feminine within the masculine. Sail on the support, which can be the wind in your sail. Foo Fighters music, passionate. Maybe there's a divine masculine who really likes the Foo Fighters, but passionate and may move the masculine. Something too with the Foo Fighters came up yesterday about Nirvana, and that being the band that Dave Grohl began, and that was in 1994, after the suicide of Kurt Cobain, who happened to be born January 14th, 1969, and January 14th had come up on a header yesterday, so I was guided to write that down as well. And that life lesson number would be 40, which is the Page of Cups, that innocent, pure love, very much of the fish, of Pisces, and Jesus as well. All right, so that was some of the energy coming up from the feminine yesterday. And also the point of no return, 0 point. If a picture paints 1,000 words. Wait, I wanted to read some of this stuff here. And this is still with the feminine read yesterday. Just some of it. The School of Communication was coming up, and Eddie Murphy as well. The Page of Wands with dreams of leadership and success. Winter home or chalet in mountains, or getting past Wicked Witch of the West without drawing too much attention to the light, but holding back feelings, the Knight of Wands ready to blow. Fighting is over as healing occurs for the Page of Cups. So here the Page of Cups came up again, which could be a new child or just a young child, the youngest child, or a project. Aquarian child has set fires all around to get attention, to use people, cause them to fight. So this could also be an immature adult as well, to cause them to fight. So it's coming up like for them to get attention, to use people, then to cause them to fight, to do all the work for that person, and siblings work for them. The ultimate star. So that's another wound template, right? The ultimate star always has chaos all around them, right? And they get family to work for them, like it's their ultimate place where they get to be the boss of everyone around them. But this is a wound. With 3 children plus 1 a success out of 3, always 1 digresses and rebels or rebels as the battle underneath wells. How coal becomes a diamond, where the pressure all around until a leak causes eruption of light to be exposed and found. Butterflies are free to fly, yet sit on the grass to watch the fight. Water suspends in midair and can freeze and never meet the water. And then that's when that came in from Brett again. And Spirit's connecting with me really heavy right now. If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? The words will never show the you I've come to know. And then dark waters run deep as you pour yourself on me. When the fight is over, then dreams come true. A starry night when he gives his love to you. All the wounds he left behind, 21 in all, the butterfly effect of his life's trajectory. A boy and a girl meet. She gives her heart and he runs away, or within. For to flirt with dreams is a lesson for only saints and angels, where they may fear to tread, or dare to tread. To succumb to a fall for which he may not overcome. The point of no return, or 0 point, came up as that 0. Dot, the end, okay? So the 0 is the human embodiment, but if you move that dot into the middle here, it's the third eye and also the wormhole. And recently, and again, this is still for the feminine, dimples were coming up as well. A tooth missing, tail end of a story, dogs wondering what's up with the lobster. The wizard behind the curtain is aroused to come out about their DNA, the less talked about, right end of their DNA, the family chain, the legacy, the lineage. Empress reversed, out watching, implementing a plan to find peace with her twin, using her nest egg for a place near the beach, traveling to daughter with kids, or to the beach to smell the roses, so to speak. Justice in cutting out the crap, tossing out those no longer needed, with the pits. So someone may be down in the pits. Iron Gate and Sweet Tweet's confession to Dream Girl, as people are talking about her. Someone caught with their pants down, pouring herself on him under the stars at night. Scissors, incisors, magnet, horseshoes, and gold coins, all metal pangs and fangs, secret romantic dream, a game of Clue or escape room. Then you can have sex in the woods and have her wax your chest. Under the stars and exposed dimples. Libra, Aquarius, Virgo, Pisces came up there. And that's when the School of Communication, Eddie Murphy, came up. And some of the other stuff. Sharing the portal of no return, where you share the end of times with her. Sunshine, if he'll judge her sweetly. The Knight of Wands, slow motion, King of Cups reversed. Emotionally detached, manipulative, or on vacation, as not to care about anybody today. The King of Wands reversed, lover, star-crossed lovers. Divine Masculine wonders if he has competition, with water sign around. Or what if she leaves him like the others before? Divine Feminine and his inner child. The King of Pentacles and her teenage child, being chased and intimidated. To rescue efforts displayed in order to get the Empress to allow him to fix her, help her, rescue her. Let him be her angel of mercy. Now, purging injustice and no resistance, free from jail without his twin, or freeing her from the past to emotional fulfillment and puppy love. The wounded warrior may be guarded and cause the other to run away from purging and not hearing, or purging and not leaving, exposing happiness from the King of Pentacles lover and longing for him to whisk her away, to reunion with the Empress fantasy. While someone gets hurt, someone will get hurt either way, and Angel just wants peace. So the feminine realizing, and the masculine too, that no matter what decision he makes, there's someone who's going to get hurt no matter what. So he might as well make himself happy. It's 13:13 now, or at the end. So soon the truth of pain and betrayal, angel reaping rewards to bleed out, as the divine masculine had romanced the stone. So maybe someone who was like stone, like who had no emotions. The feminine being the Page of Pentacles, discovering her abilities. Over purges coming out and insecure but expressing feelings. Okay, so that's some of the stuff that came up from yesterday for the feminine. The constant gardener came up again too. Kids may be needing to apologize, as karmic tells the truth with the kids, the harsh truth, which I think that came up again today as well. Rising up to tango with dreams, where the brave dare not go, standing up for self and power. Happy wizard, deceiving the Queen of Cups reversed, or alone and sad at the new moon, detoxing the Queen of Wands reversed, and sending a message of love. The Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of a hug. The pearl rises above the naysayers, as the Queen of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed were coming up as shadow, dark, devils, arrogant liars. So whoever's interfering here on the masculine or feminine side. So there's definitely dark mother stuff came up, as I did a clearing with my son yesterday. The dark, mother clearing. So that was coming up in the read again as well. And I wanted to note as well yesterday, because it came up today again, the magician was missing. Because in one of the reads I did for the masculine yesterday, 3332 came up, And all of the numbers were in the read except the number 1, the magician. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Okay, that came up. But then in another one, right after that, the number 1 and the number 4 were missing and all the other numbers were present. So first the magician goes missing, and then the emperor goes missing. And I'd written, before I noticed this today, that I'd written down the King of Pentacles was upright, the King of Cups was reversed, and then the King of Wands was upright, and the Emperor was reversed. So these are like 2 people, right? So the King of Cups reversed, the Emperor reversed are 1 person, and then the King of Pentacles, King of Wands was 1 person, the Magician, and the Emperor that went missing. And then I'd written down the movie I'd watched, 50-50. So some kind of 50-50 split, where they had to have a discussion away from the others. And then 3332 came up, and then 3322, and that was both for the masculine. Also boxcar, streetcar named Desire, and ego death, jealousy and sincerity, and giving no love to false light, Queen of Cups, was coming up. So as we get into more today, yesterday also the Queen of Wands was coming up as a spoiled brat, perhaps opportunist. The masculine standing up to fend off others who may want to share, just take his stuff and apologize. Someone may be apologizing, a karmic, for dumping all the gifts she gave him or her, or him to her. Somebody might have thrown out all the gifts they were given. Someone stabbing the other in the back out of arrogance to keep the facade of a happy family for the masculine. Now again, that was yesterday, and at 1:20 a.m. last night, my mail came up at 12:002, and then we get into today for the masculine, and today is June 2nd, 2019. The 2 is the High Priestess, okay, of intuition and being secretive, connecting with your higher self, but just also being very peaceful as well, and feminine energy. Knowing your intuition. And the day adds up to 20, which is another 2, but it's of judgment and making decisions, okay, and being called to action. So very much about the feminine energy, and but the feminine using her masculine to be decisive. But the Magician was missing, and that came up again today. So when I woke up this morning, and I got to show you this one too, I went outside again, and that same dragonfly came back to see me. And I have to show you this one picture. It's so cool. And my blueberries are growing beautifully too. It's been a couple years, so they're finally coming in. Where's that good picture of him? I think it's this one. His eyes were really blue in the light. Yeah, so like check him out again. I mean, how cool. I got so many pictures again today. Look at his face and tell me that's not like the helmet of the humans floating around that you may have seen in your etheric realms. You know, if you see a human with a big, huge, you've ever seen like an astronaut floating around in the etheric realms with a huge helmet, it's like the veil of illusions, and he's literally wearing that helmet, and his face, he looks like the old man Muppet. Actually, it looks like my dad looking at me right now from that angle. But it's also like the bad man behind blue eyes, as his eyes are really bright. But it's like he's coming to give me a message and showing me that he's part of the ant lineage, because the face is the same as the ant. And it was also coming into the read as the butterfly metamorphosis. And also this morning, the white butterfly was out with him as well. I was hoping to get them both in the same picture, but I was focusing on his picture, you know, because I see the white butterfly all the time, but not him. So it was really cool that he's back again. And he's blue, and then my blueberries were coming out, which were also so beautiful. So I want to show you that as well. Like, here's my beautiful blueberries, which I'll have to use one of them for a pick. And then I might as well show you the pictures of the read before I go on. So this is for the Divine Masculine read today, the basic read, and then the full read. Okay. Alright, so as you get into the masculine read on this 2nd of June, and 2 is a major number that kept coming up. Actually the 1 and 2, but mostly 2 because today is the 2nd. The day is 22, and it's 6-2 of love and the High Priestess, and then the 20 of the Judgment and the Feminine. Being decisive about using your intuition. The dragonfly and the butterfly and the blueberries and the blue rays. And you notice some reddish pink was coming up on the blueberries as well, like the magenta color. As I got into the masculine read, it was done this morning at 9 a.m. to 01 to 02, which is, again, the Magician and the High Priestess. So definitely significant here. The major arcana for this read. Now I can get anywhere from 1 to 5, even 5, major arcana on a regular basis, and even 6 sometimes. But we had 7 today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the masculine. And not yesterday, but the day before that, I had 8, including the after the card read, 8 major arcana. So it was just 2101, which is again the Magician and completion of the world, coming full circle. We have 7 major arcana, 7 being that, that number, right, of the calm before the storm as well, but it is of the Chariot, of the Ascension, and how much divine intervention is coming into the masculine today. The numbers for the masculine were 1 cup, 2 swords, and 1 wand. So 121, which came up from my friend yesterday, and it came up again today. It wasn't the only time. The time came up as well. And the court cards, there were none in the main read, but both cards before and after were court cards. The underlying energy was the King of Wands, Shaman, and the after the read card was the Knight of Swords. So we have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. 2 knights, and today's the 2nd, and that would come out on the 4th. The night of the 2nd, night of the 3rd, and that would leave us in June 4th. So there's something significant about the 4th here. Now note, this read today, not only do we have 7 major arcana, but the numbers that came up from the cards in the read were only 4, 5, 6, 10, 10, 10, 10. 4 tens. Now it's rare that any number comes up at all, 4, but this is 4 tens. This is the end into the beginning, because 9 is the end, 10 is the connection into the new cycle. And 4, 5, 6 is the 4D. It's 1, 2, 3 is the 3D, 4, 5, 6, 5D or 4D, and then 7, 8, 9 is the 5D. So it's literally saying we're done with the 4D. And maybe the 2 nights is indicating that after the new moon on 6/4, we are done. Whoever is watching here, we're done with the 4D bridge. Okay, so this is marking that. Really cool, really significant. And 7 major arcana. So the other numbers that came up here were 7, 25, 10, 510, 520, so the 10 and 20% off came up again. And then that 121, and 10, 10, 10, 10, okay? So that, and that 4, 5, 6 being the middle of the road, that perfect balance, right, between the 1, 2, 3 and the 7, 8, 9. It's also talking about 0 point, but the 4D done. Then the coding was all about abundance, personal growth, and forgiveness. And transition and guidance both came up in the coding, but about that high vibration, supportful or masterful. 510 came up, but then it also came up as 15, and then you notice the 15 reflects the 510, and that comes up in a minute as well. With the new moon, and I just read Quickie, but it's not what I wrote. I wrote Guide. So Quickie is coming up, as well as Guide and Gita. Also Maida or Gata came in. Also Han and T came up as well. I, half feminine. All right, so this is, let me see what that card said. Oh, and the Fly just came up as well. The Fly, so the movie The Fly, right? And that had to do with the fly and the transformation of the butterfly, but in relation to the ant to the dragonfly. And then I was getting, so dragonflies for June, and then July will be the fireflies, right? They have light. So there's something very important here about this message. Oh, they were also asking you not to use the bug zappers. I was literally getting that from like the huppah of the Four of Wands. All of these magenta flowers with the stingers around them, which is like the bug zappers. And they're saying to be at peace with the earth and not kill the bugs too. The dragonfly was coming to me, and it's now 2525, which is going to come up in right now. 25 is the Knight of Wands, being passionate and riding in, being physical movement. But the beautiful dragonfly was coming to me 2 days in a row to show me his beauty, and then give this message about the bug zappers as to not kill the bugs, okay? To understand their beauty and their purpose in things. And the spiders come up here too as the ones who help you keep the other bugs out of your house, that they're your friends. High vibe dentistry may be coming up too. Actually, missing tooth came up. High vibe destiny as masterful Hierophant, and also Ma being the sweet fool came up. The Hierophant with expansion, change, and a Taurus at the high vibe new moon tomorrow guides a transition of Han, which the masculine always comes up as Han, but I was also getting my dragonfly introducing himself as Han today. Han also being the H of the DNA and antics of the divine masculine. Also an aunt may be involved with the mother situation. And somebody who is half feminine. So there may be a mother or an aunt who is very masculine, but also note the masculine noting himself as half feminine and recognizing himself as I, half Sophia. Very important here. And this is all around abundance, personal growth, and forgiveness. And the end here of the 4D, 10, 10, 10, 10, amazing. So then, not only did the 510 and the 15 reflect, and both came up in the code together, in the numbers beside it also came up the reflection of 520 and 25. So it brought up the reflection. You know, you can reflect numbers horizontally and vertically. So which one you do? Well, you notice if you reflect 52 exactly, it is still 52. Because when you reflect, you don't just reverse the numbers, but you actually reflect the position of the numbers. So 52, when reflected in a box style writing, is literally 52 again. And that's the Queen of Swords. But it also reflects the other way to 25, which then horizontally is still 25. It's the only number that no matter which way you do it horizontally, it always comes up as the same number. Whereas 51 reflects to 12, 15, and 21. Okay? So it's showing me an X and a line down. So vertically it's 51 to 21 and 12 to 15 if you reflect them. But then catty corner is 51 to 15 and 12 to 21. So very important. This is the King and Queen of Swords coming up. And the Devil and the Knight of Wands. It's saying like the King of Swords or the masculine's shadow is the Devil. But he's also got the logical man of the 12 and the 21, which is the wise man and the end, completion, the world, right? That's the masculine energy. Whereas the feminine is always the 52 no matter which way she goes horizontally. But her shadow is the Knight of Wands, being too aggressive in a creative or sexual way, physically, okay? So very interesting that that was coming up as the woman who's like a man, and then the masculine recognizing his feminine side, so coming more into integration of the masculine and feminine for everyone. So as we start this read for the masculine, I was guided again to use the 3 cards instead of 2 in the underlying energy. So we have Luna as the underlying energy, but also the shaman, King of Wands, he's the master of flames, and then the 10 of crystals, but coming up like this in the read, okay? So the new moon backed up by shaman and family legacy, the King of Pentacles is reversed with the 9 of Pentacles reversed, but elevating to a 10 of Pentacles upright. And then I was getting the negative times the negative equals a positive. Loss of status and money, loss of power and independence, ultimate equals the ultimate family legacy. A negative multiplied is expansion. And this took me straight to Gremlins, okay? No, can't think of a better example of how negative multiplies as in Gremlins. Overexpansion creates chaos, and they end up killing each other. All right, so it's a natural way of elimination. The ones left learn a valuable lesson. They are left with a gift. Gizmo started out innocent, but if you let the cancer in, it spreads like wildfire. But if you master your shadow, and Spirit's connecting with me, you expand upward instead of outward, shedding the veils instead of your skin. The Divine Masculine, Spirit's still connecting with me really strong on that. The Divine Masculine bond to his higher self, going within to search abandonment issues. The loner, the lone wolf. The hermit, Kung Fu. All right, so remember Kung Fu was a very peaceful man who walked the earth, but he was very, able to protect himself. It was 3111. So 31 is the 5 of Wands, expansion energy, conflict, competition, and then the 11 of justice. Is there justice in that? So it was just saying, if you let the cancer get in, and you let the gremlins get in, it naturally will expand to chaos, like our world is in. And the chaos will naturally kill off a certain amount, leaving the others to learn an important lesson and rise, okay, above. So this is what naturally happens in nature. It's not saying that anyone's doing anything to anyone. It's the nature of the beast. It's the way things work out when you let the cancer in, okay? So with the abandonment issues and the masculine, looking at this, at the new moon, new student of the gold coin, the Christ consciousness, the collective consciousness is born. Student of the shadow, the aloneness, the eclipse of the false light, total eclipse of the heart. He sees his gold coin does not match the moon. Okay, so he's seeing that his gold coin doesn't match the way the moon looks. They're different. The sun expands, but the moon lies dormant. And that's kind of the wound too about, the traditional woman lays on her back, right? The lobster is on the right path, and the dogs are dazed and confused as the fired up divine masculine becomes the meek, inheriting the earth. The young, the vulnerable, the alone, the destitute. As I turn the page, it's 9:54, which I'll get to in a minute. But all of those meek, they have risen. The injured, Pegleg, Captain Hook and Wendy, Peter Pan finds his own way as Karmic runs off with the bad man. Jetpack in tow, he convinced Wendy he could fly better. But all talk, and with only a backpack attached to his back and arms, now she's got him controlled too, and both are now miserable. 9:54 is a message, because that's the Page of Swords, and the 9 of the Hermit. Okay, so the Hermit has a message. So it's worth listening to, right? And that can even reference the messages I'm getting for you now. The Page of Pentacles sees the positive in change. When at the bottom, there's only one way up, right? The only way is up. Stained glass windows and nights in white satin and 5D meets eclipse of the heart, all green and gold with some white, which is the Christ consciousness, the gold, the sparkly gold with white light. So for the masculine came up unrequited love, with very soon beneath that, very soon unrequited love, but give me a moment and to tell you what that's about. The Empress is out in trappings, note trap, as the divine masculine with fantasies, and karmic and divine masculine all business. But the karmic, and that can be a mother too, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. And it could be a friend or sister as well. But the karmic can easily be a mother caring for the divine masculine, or giving him a massage or healing, so that the harsh truth will come up to clear, and clear the mother-son bond, the dark mother wounds. Ice cream and chocolates learning to heal each other, clearing the dark mother to ready the divine masculine for true love, cutting all cords with every possible blade, with that which no longer serves, sterile table and tools. Every day is Mother's Day, birthdays and weddings, parties in June. Excuse me. There's some pressure being released, right, in the something that's bubbling up inside. The Divine Masculine gives Mom a flower, or the karmic, and rejects it. If they don't accept him and the twin just as they are, he has decided to cut their cord. So this is the masculine awakening to all of this. Self-loving, right, himself, which is 61, which is actually the 7 of Swords, the risk card, taking the risk to love yourself first. And beneath that was Synchronicities, which is 87, which is also 15 of the devil, and 6, the shadow side. Seeing the synchronicities, the reflection of himself. The Page of Swords is coming up reversed as negative self-talk, and the masculine may be feeling like a failure, with the Queen of Swords reversed, not herself lately, or mother and son lying to themselves and to each other, both in need of attention, some good news, success, achievement, leadership, journey, someone to lead the way to union. The chuppah of magenta flowers, raised and held up by stingers, lasers, energy, bug zappers. Think of the dragonfly next time you want to kill a bug. And then I was getting to kill a mockingbird. In stuck emotions, trying to find peace. Come fly with me. Then that came up, so the fly is here as well. To heaven, to 5D, to bliss. Away from 3D world of disappointment and lack and zapping bugs. Offering new life, the gold coin, and going back for an opportunity to learn, the student of the Christ consciousness or the collective consciousness, in prison, blinded by the light, revved up like a deuce, so now we have 2 again here, and I always would confuse it and think it was wrapped up like a deuce, right? Or it could be a douche too, right? Another runner in the night. The King of Swords reversed, so it's King and Queen of Swords both coming up reversed here, who just might not be themselves, not in their truth, as the sealed Divine Feminine is now secured in this portal here that's still open. We got the Death card in the Sirius Darcy deck again today, so it's confirming that the portal's wide open. So I turned the page, it was 10:20, so here we have the 1 and 2 and the 2 of the day and Judgment as well. So we have the Destiny card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 20 of Judgment. Final Judgment is here. The Divine Feminine is secured. Stewardess may be enticing to fly and marches to the beat of her own drum in another world of the airplane. But who is she really after landing on the ground and getting grounded? Divine Masculine was cold, but now in a prison because nothing compares to you. Okay, so that came up here. In seeking peace around the world, stuck in emotions and coming full circle, student of the false light, armed with gold coin, unrequited love of the close encounters of the third kind, self-love bond. Now, then my mail came up to, I sent my picture of that dragonfly pic that I just showed you. I sent that to my email, and it came up 12022, but when I opened it to look at it, the mail came to 12021, right? The end of time, December 21st, 2012. That was my picture of my dragonfly. And the time it was sent was 10:28, right? Destiny of the twin flames. So I went out to breakfast. My son invited me to go have breakfast. He wanted to take me out. But the mail was very important. For some reason, I looked up, I forget what I was looking up online. I was looking up the date of the full moon this month, and noticed that this year, December 12th, the full moon on the East Coast, 12/12, full moon this year is at 12:12 a.m. So literally 12 minutes after the bewitching hour on 12/12, 2019, which is another 12, full moon, cold moon. And also that 12/12 time in the UTC is, in military time, 17/12. So you get where I'm going here, right? Because 12 is that magic number. It's wisdom. It's also the end of the cycle. And it's that 3. So we have 12/12 of 2019 is 333, and then the 12/12 time on the East Coast. And East Coast was coming up yesterday with CH, which is, well, Christ, but also chest was coming up yesterday, the treasure chest, and chest just in general, and the game chess, the chess game as well. Those were all coming up in the coding. So nothing compares to you. In seeking peace around the world, stuck in emotions, a coming full circle, student of false light, armed with gold coin, unrequited love of the close encounters of the third kind, the self-love bond, and that third energy between them. So then it went back to 12022, my male, and then 12027 was the next number I saw, and that was at 1202. So, all right, we can't get enough of those 2s, and the numbers were very specific in the read today, because usually there's a lot of random numbers. It's not often that they're very manicured, you know, like 10, 10, 10, 10, and 4, 5, 6, and that's it. The Scorpio full moon detaching from the family to the June 3rd new moon, which actually equals a 9, 6-3 is 9. Gemini new moon, which is also my father's birthday tomorrow. Small coin, small potatoes, compared to July 2nd eclipse new moon for a major shift point, which is actually the date I met my twin. Next full moon is just giving me this information to relay it to you in that way. So there's very important shifts going on. Next full moon is June 17th, 2019 at 4:31 a.m. And 31 is the 5 of Wands, which for the second day in a row, the masculine seeing himself as that. The 5 of Wands, he thinks he's trouble. Unrequited love between the divine masculine and the full moons. So he's seeing now this unrequited love is really about the false light. The unrequited love between the divine masculine and the full moons, because that's when the false light is at its full power. Coming full circle, not a second too soon. Forces his stuck emotions out. Remember, there needs to be a leak, because otherwise it's going to explode, to clear the way for his own self-love. So recently for the masculine is the 10 of Cups, and it's just 4222 and 4224. So that's 42 of the 2 of Cups, 22 of the Fool, taking a leap of faith, and then 24 of the Queen of Wands, which is that third energy, the false light that comes up. Okay, so in my interpretation of the way Spirit wants me to show this, the Queen of Wands, not fire signs, but the Queen of Wands comes up as the false light in this deck. So recently with that 10 of Cups, the 10 of Chalices, an emotional family. Okay, with a downturn, when I wrote downturn, it wrote downtown. So downtown came up as well. In a downturn of work, or refusing to move downtown perhaps, or being extra stubborn about it, injustice of surrender to the enemy on the warpath. Because remember, for the masculine, surrender means surrendering to the enemy. Surrendering to an enemy on the warpath, a path of war and chaos, blocks and broken down cars and revenge, with the Libra reversed and Cancer reversed energies present here. Flower child, and here's more burping, so there's more that needs to be released, because otherwise it's going to boil up and explode. Flower child of wealth and shaman, both given up their riches at the full moon to gamble on the ultimate family, the 10 of Pentacles, or 2 very greedy people, possibly a father and a daughter, or power couple gone wrong, family with money, and family with money. So, or it's easy for them to spend and piss through the money, since they always had more where that came from, if they had a very wealthy family. False light spends, feminine money wounds, and shaman reaps the rewards, or pissed at the family who is pissing away all his money, at the family members. The divine masculine starting over again, like Kung Fu, walking the earth and going within. The false light has been blocking his sun, dimming his light, dumbing him down, okay, because that was coming out. Like the moon in front of the sun, but I wrote down the front, so it could be a cold front, right? total eclipse of the heart, and that was at 12:21. All right, you can't make this up. So again, we have the 12:21 of the wisdom and flipping it around. And in the near future position, the masculine's also the 12, the hangman, with the right knee block, the anger issues that are about to erupt. And I've definitely already gotten some messages of people whose masculines may be erupting. Could be the masculine within the feminine as well, and the collective as well. All of the masculine energies. There's also something else about the place my son took me for breakfast this morning is called Country Club. It's just a diner. But that was paralleling the masculine, right? Being seen as the perfect family and wanting to go to the country club. So that was coming up as well. So actually in paralleling that, a masculine could have taken their mother to the mother's country club, to have breakfast there. But there's a message there as well that came up that I'll get into in a second. When I went out to breakfast with him, I noticed where I parked, it literally said 676, which we were talking about the 6666 and never meeting the end. Can you go to the end of the 7 and come back to the 6 again? Right? Because 7 is actually 5D. So now we're not going to die when we hit 7. We're actually going to 5D, which we've just been told the 4D is over on the 4th, and that here we are at the end of the road. Also 1144 came up, which is definitely a message to me because my soul number is 3811 and my life lesson number 448. Okay, which is also about justice and mastering, grounding, and integrating your transition. And the fence came up. It was literally written, fence, don't fence me in also. Never nearing the end. So as we turn the page, it was then 12:23 to 24, which then we come up upon the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Those karmic energies. So it can represent the divine masculine with his karmic, but it can also represent the two karmics, the feminine karmic and the masculine karmic of the feminine. So take it as it comes, and if it doesn't resonate with you, then it may not be the read for you at this moment. So the foundation here is coming up as the 4 of Orbs, the 4 of Swords. Kung Fu meditation comes up. Silence, rest at night, elevated lovers and affection above double Leo and or ego, or Leo and kids, and all reversed. Okay? So it's like the masculine separating himself from all that fire. Because it's, there's double Leo cards. I have to say too, powerfully, Aquarius had 3 cards reversed, very reversed for the Aquarius and the Leos here. Okay? So Leo and kids could be sick or drained, and divine lovers get to play in meditation. So that's at night kept coming up here, which also can be the full moon or the past full moon in the underlying energies. But here we are going forward in the read. It's about spending time at night, where they're not really together anymore, just kind of may be still needing to live together for whatever reason, or just things aren't finalized yet. But there's too much fire around the masculine, and he just wants quiet and peace to be by himself. And then divine lovers get to play in meditation at night when he's being left alone. A mountain between them, kids possibly unruly, and Leo always flashing her butt or sticking her butt where it doesn't belong, or Leo and kids with Gemini perhaps at the beach, but they're reversed, so they may be sick. Or just drained, from maybe a long day out having fun, whatever. So centrally here is the guidance card, which is also the Hierophant. Now, remember, this is guidance, but it's also the guide dance. Okay? So making sure you connect with your higher self, to your guides. Divine marriage of love from source. The truth of divorce or spiritual marriage. Looking or going back to the past. The masculine. And clearing his throat. Speaking up for the past. Alright, so maybe needing to speak about what happened, or even just his family lineage that they don't like to talk about. So the Taurus comes up here as well, and the challenge being the Scorpio here. The challenge being the portal, death, transition, new love, puppy love, message of love, or innocent friend or child seeing what they have to give to you, or the Knight of Wands, running passionately back to speak, give a message, or get news on the Queen of Swords reversed, maybe just not herself or not talking, could be a little verbally abusive there as well, but just might not be herself as well, blocked by negative self-talk and history of verbal abuse to her from the children in her family. So, that could have been her family history. I wrote olive branch, but I wrote Oliver actually. So, more, sir. I loved that. For some reason, that stuck with me forever. But Oliver, the orphan, asking for more porridge, please. But olive branch, from son to mother. Okay, so maybe son's trying to make up to his mother. A romantic gesture, perhaps, taken out to breakfast to cheer her up, like my son did to me today. After silenced, possibly by Capricorn and Sagittarius. Capricorn could also be shadow energy or a devilish person. But if it's Capricorn, doesn't mean it's devil. It could just be a Capricorn. And a Sagittarius. But the Sagittarius can also be a drinker, potion maker. She's not a happy person. And the Capricorn comes up as the devil, is more masculine energy. Or the devil, Knight of Wands, an angel, Page of Cups, plotting revenge to keep someone quiet. Or the divine masculine, seeing both sides of himself, innocently taking mother, the angelic son, but going to a place he's been craving to go to, but needing company, but on a tight budget, but dreaming of his favorite things, and seeing synchronicities, heaven in his eyes, like dreaming of the place he wants to eat, if she'll only keep quiet. So it's like a masculine can be, and that wasn't literally the case for my son and I, because we just had a nice breakfast together. But it could literally be the divine masculine wanting to be a nice son and wanting to take his mom out, but is he really being the angel, or is he being the devil? Is he taking her because he really wants to? Because here it seems like he wants, as long as she keeps quiet, I'll take her out to breakfast. As long as she takes me to the country club where I can have my favorite meal there. Maybe he's not in the country club anymore, and it's 5225, which we just brought up in the beginning of this read as the Queen of Swords, and how it always reflects the same way. Is he being true? Is he being honest? Is he being authentic in taking her out to breakfast if he doesn't really mean it? If he's only doing it because he wants to go eat there, if she'll keep quiet. Energy vampire, and who knows, maybe my son was thinking that about me, I don't know. Maybe she'll keep quiet. Energy vampires, women talking too much. So this is another wound about what men think about women. Energy vampires, women talking too much, showing off, gossiping, and buying new clothes. Now looking for peace, impatient or not moderate with food, to lay down after they ate too much, depressed, deliberating, an apology, or to end a war of stuck emotions inside of himself. The King of Wands reversed, tired of eating too much, working to align and crack codes on how to lose weight, or getting their ducks in a row, or just straighten up around the house before it's too late. Also, the Divine Master may be going to visit siblings who may be struggling with their kids, and he wants to go cheer them up, and or to spend time with mother and a sibling. So there's different scenarios, just has to do with family. But is he doing it for the right reasons? So this is something he needs to reconcile with himself. Is he truly being authentic? Because if you're going to live this journey of being called to action, to be your true authentic self, these are some of the subtleties that will come up. So suddenly may also come up. So Taurus can reach out with a message. If the Queen of Swords reversed keeps quiet about it, so it could be a masculine who wants to reach out to his feminine, if she'll keep quiet about it while going through transition period. So as I turn the page, again it's 1254. Again, the Page of Swords, a message, news, a child who wants to say something, or an adult who wants to say something, speak up. The underlying energy signs that came up for this read were just Libra reversed, Cancer reversed, Pisces upright, Taurus reversed, Leo double reversed, and Gemini upright. That was it for the underlying energy. For the body of the read, was Taurus reversed, Scorpio upright, Pisces double upright, Aries reversed, Aquarius triple reversed. But actually, the Aquarius was triple reversed all during the read, and at the very end, it wasn't really regarding Aquarius. It was more like all of a sudden, it's the star upright, that things look up at the end, that dreams may come true, but we'll get to that in a second. But Sagittarius was reversed, Capricorn reversed, Cancer, I don't even know what Cancer was there. Cancer was reversed in the underlying energy and not positive about Cancer. Not a lot of, the Queen of Cups wasn't present, so I'm not sure about that. There wasn't a lot of court cards out, not as much as usual. So I'm not sure which direction Cancer was in the body of the read, but it was still definitely very present in the read, okay, especially with all the moons, okay. Libra was reversed, Virgo upright, Leo reversed. And that could have to do at the end of the read also about ego death, and that is why then the star card comes up as dreams coming true. Gemini was upright, but the Magician was not present at all. Okay, so again, this is confirming, just like yesterday, where did the Magician go? So someone went missing for a reason. The Sagittarius reversed and Aquarius reversed, Capricorn, Scorpio, and Taurus, and Cancer separated, all trying to find peace. The Knight of Cups offering love in a separation, or at a distance, to Cancer, third party through work, church, school, or creative place, who's on a quest, or fighting at work, or threatening to leave a job, or a group effort. Angel and Devil come out with it. Angel and Devil come out, possibly with alcohol, at the full moon, false light power. So it's like the masculine saying, and it could be the masculine and his karmic as well, that the angel and devil come up, and both of them at these full moons. And they're realizing this now. With the false light power, rejecting affections, but the karmic stealing his or her energy and walking away to free themselves. Quiet time alone for the masculine to think about his destiny and what in a girl is most important to him. Pretty with brains and announcing things that announcing a cause to help the innocent, or the perfect woman with boobs, hair, and arms, tooting her own horn and just wanting his stick. Okay, that came up in the read. So Aries, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Capricorn came up here. Aries, Virgo, and Libra and Sagittarius are doing the avoid dance. All right, so we have the abundant dance and the avoid dance and the guide dance. All right, 3 dances I want you to remember from this deck. Avoid dance, guide dance, and abundant dance. All right. So the avoid dance is coming up here. The avoid dance block of Aries, Virgo, Sag, and Libra. You're a blockhead, Charlie Brown comes up as Lucy abuses him. Soon, the hangman, well, first we have the crowning card was the 6 of orbs. It's like the 6 of swords, all right, finding peace, but there was no peace here. That was like reversed energy. Soon for the masculine is the hangman here, okay? But he was totally in cover-up mode with his right knee block. Nobody was to know about it. Maybe it would have been a problem at work. But the right knee block not seen, because of cover-up here, leading the way, defenseless to attacks and strong energies, but no longer cares if he sees eye to eye about holdings or savings. She can bark at the kids all she wants. His inner child is not listening to karmic, but knowing there's a wake-up call to all for final judgment. And if she wants to listen, she will, and if she doesn't, she doesn't. That's what the energy I'm getting from the cards that were there. So he's also seeing synchronicities, possibly about radiation and what karmic's been up to on the journey. Don't have to defend yourself. Just letting go of attachments to people and things that don't serve you anymore and holding on loosely. To just hang in and be wise to clear anger issues, okay? Of the establishment of marriage, priests, or whatever religious leader, religion, politicians, police, and military men with 16 channels and an antenna separate from the King of Wands of passion, his own man, to get others to hear the call. So there's a split between the old and the new, okay? This is the King of Wands, shaman type energy is splitting from the pack of the old, but he's also seeing himself here as the Five of Flames, the Five of Wands, you know, seeing himself as trouble. And this is why he's splitting from the pack, right? The wolf pack, basically. So 16 channels and antenna separated from the King of Wands, man of passion, his own man, to get others to hear the call. Every man, woman, and child must know their own destiny and guides. Division of the patriarchy, and divided we fall. Service to self, ego-driven, or angels sharing and healing with passionate energy, reporting downloads, messages, intuits, to all. Each can choose their own fate, to lose faith and fall on your face, or to use their intuition to connect to higher self, a higher love. Service to others via the collective consciousness, the inner channels through the 12 chakra system, as opposed to the 16 of the tower on the outside, wisdom within, or tower channels without, each chooses their own reality. Masculine is seeing himself as that Five of Wands. He sees himself as trouble again, not expressing feelings and being tempted to run again. It was just 010111. So all about the magician, right? Poof, I can disappear in a moment's notice. Not expressing his feelings and then tempted to run again from himself, stuck in uncomfortable emotions instead of purging it out. Expansion builds pressure, and it was 121 there, and now it's 31 of the Five of Wands. There must be a release valve. And then the Romance Angels cards that came up for him were attraction and you deserve love. All right, so 121 as we turn the page still. 21 is the magician in the world, right? Coming full circle, ending the cycle, all right? Completion, ends, achievements. Don't fence me in came up again. The Divine Masculine fencing himself in and I wrote down afraid, but I just got in a fraud of his feelings, which makes sense, but he's afraid of his feelings. If he actually loves, he may never recover if he gets screwed again. Around the Divine Masculine, or how he is seen, is the Empress, which is the abundance card. Okay, here's the other dance, the abundance. And ABUN is a test of the kidneys. And what is that? But it's how we purge what goes through our bodies. So the abundance is all about the purge dance. The avoid dance is all about avoiding. And then we have the guide dance of making sure you stay connected to your guides, all right? In healing and forgiving, grounding and integrating an offer of love, breaking patterns, even if they trip up, and being okay with that, dropping the facade, but it's okay to fall out of balance sometimes. When you fall down on the floor, you may notice the bugs that were planted in the curtains, or the spiders that help keep all the other bugs away. They are friendly. Allowing the purge to release the stress and the worry, to allow your heart to open, allowing mother's love, the Empress within. Clear dark mother, Taurus wounds. Abusive, controlling, won't let you live your own life, mother, and disconnect if needed, purge out of system. Clear blocks for the masculine of depression and loss of hope, family unhappiness, grief, loss and regret, bad decisions, poor judgment, no judgment, i.e. indecision. In the devil, hanging too long in limbo is not wise if you've been called to action. And Pisces reversed, Aquarius reversed, and Taurus were all included here. Forgiveness came up for the masculine, personal growth and abundance, as I said in the beginning, but even more so for the masculine now, follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Follow, 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 follow the Olympic road. Okay? Because of the wonderful things he does. Okay? So it's about following your dreams. Big work, love, and spirits connecting with me. Big work, love, connection, and obsession with sovereignty within it. Being single without being single. rather than two whole people together because they love each other. So masculine may have been stuck in the idea of loving the relationship he's in because he gets to be single within a committed relationship because they don't really care about each other. So they get to live their own lives, but they have the stability. But is that really what he wants? As opposed to two literally whole sovereign people together because they really love each other and they love being together. The eye of the storm, so the end of the read comes up, and remember I pulled 2 extra cards today as opposed to 3, but I want to show you this. Alright, so it came up like this. So we have the Strength card, but this for me comes up more Sagittarius, but Sagittarius Leo. Then we have the 10 of Orbs, and you notice this is like the person has a lab coat on and is lying on their stomach. And it's so funny because yesterday I was giving my son a massage and doing some Reiki and doing a clearing at the same time. So this pain card, the 10 of Swords, sometimes can be a good thing, okay? Because it was literally clearing the pain from his body. So this is coming up as well as the Knight of Orbs, or the Adept of Orbs, Knight of Swords, which is for me all about sending 5D messages or announcements coming out of the ending of pain, okay, and ego death. So where am I here? Okay. So with this big work, love, connection, and obsession with sovereignty within it, and being single without being single rather than two whole people together because they love each other. The eye of the storm, Sagittarius and or Leo, detoxing or trying to hide from hermit shedding the light. Or that the hermit shedding the light is aggravating the devil side of the Sagittarius Leo, or ego, holding their tongue, or is holding their tongue now, but was being verbally abusive. Capricorn out of control. King of Wands reversed, who could be that Capricorn, fighting the urge to run and avoid. Angel patient in sharing arousal. Young boy's inspiration. Eye of the Tiger, obsessed with his work, which could be his mistress. Virgo upright, Capricorn reversed, fighting a battle of egos, obsessed with winning at all costs. But now one getting a massage or work on the back, and another getting their hair done to make peace, but spending money they don't have. Weak from pain, but the worst over, finding happiness alone and choosing his own path without the Leo Sag and or ego, i.e. ego death. Someone is hungry with an appetite for something else, an obsession at work, and ego death. Now, when I was taking my son to eat this morning, what happens when we get too hungry and we get angry? It's like the hangry, right? That was coming up in this case. Someone is not only hungry with an appetite for something else, they're hangry, right? They're getting angry because they're so hungry for wanting to be with the divine feminine, but denying themselves that they waited so long. They're now becoming hangry with an appetite for something else, an obsession at work, and now ego death. So I turn the page, it's 152, and 52 again is that Queen of Swords. And the Magician. There's a decision now, clear to the masculine, to pay off debts suddenly, sending off a message, 5D, or announcing epiphanies of dreams come true. Scorpio and Aquarius paying off debts to end a relationship. Third party, gossip or overindulgence, an unstable move or end of marriage, lack of inspiration, or Page of Wands reversed, who could be having tantrums, to be an adult or a child, holding things up, dropping burdens. Queen of Wands also reversed, mother and child confessions, or leaving all the burdens and dumping them on him. All right, because the Queen of Wands and Page of Wands were coming up reversed together. Queen of Wands stuck in emotions without peace about the past, childhood, bad children or past returning, mother and child overindulgences in parties, celebrations, alcohol, gossip, apathy, and tantrums. At night, quiet reflection to douse fires of the Empress family of Cancer and Taurus, challenged by Scorpio, hanging in limbo, depressed, stuck in emotions, without peace, with Leo Sag, ego, needing things to end now. Fire and ice, the worst is over. Weak in the pain, announcing the end, right? So this parallels with the 4D bridge, right? Because we said 0.6666 will never end, because if you get to 7, you would die. But if you get to the 5D, you don't die, because you're now in bliss. Never reaching the end. Well, I just told you the 4D bridge ended, and here we have announcing the end. Okay? So at night or full moon, families without peace took time to reflect about marriage, tradition, establishment, contract, commitments, challenged by transition, portal, death, and the end. No peace due to constant conflict and fighting, hanging in limbo with anger issues. Empress healing, grounding, and integrating may have effed up, and purges depressed. Leo, Sagittarius, ego weak and in pain, needing to announce the end. For sudden dreams to come true, to make Scorpio and Aquarius happy again, and that could be kids as well. So it was just 11041 I was getting, 44. So that's the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 41 is the Ace of Cups, and the 44 mastering and integrating for a new love, okay? With good luck. And the Magician, Magician embodiment, right? And destiny of the lovers. And it just turned 111100, okay? And then 01, the Magician embodiment of the twins. So really powerful message here, and I'm already over an hour. Sorry about that. So we just had all ones just now, except for the first 0 behind it. And I showed you all the pictures. Just make sure you drink your water at 22. Drink your water, get your rest, go out and have fun. Keep your energy high and rise and be loved, guys, okay?